Hi, Jamie from Aspire Fitness here, and I thought I'd do a little slideshow for you about how to optimize your training for losing body fat. It's the science of how to do it. But I didn't really want this to become a complicated lecture, so I've tried to sort of smooth out the science and give you the bits that you need to know. So it's more the science-ish. Now let's jump right in. The only substance that your body can use to make a muscle to contract is something called adenosine triphosphate, which nobody wants to try and spell that, so let's just call it ATP. Your body breaks down various different molecules to eventually get ATP. Now, it's a little bit like petrol. Your car runs on unleaded 91, but it doesn't come out of the ground like that. It's an oily, sludgy, sandy mess. And you've got to break it down and refine it through various different processes to eventually get unleaded 91 to make your car engine go bang. Just like you break down various different molecules in the body to eventually get ATP. Now, what's important about this is that these processes take time. And if you see at the top of the page, fat takes at least 60 seconds to start getting involved in producing ATP. The glucose or blood sugar, sometimes called blood carbohydrate, is a bit quicker. The creatine phosphate is quicker again, and then of course you've already got some ATP in the muscles ready to go. Let's think of it like this. These different energy systems or ways of getting energy are a bit like light bulbs. The ATP is already always on because that's what the muscles actually need to make them contract. And what we would like it to do is to be fueled by fat. So this is a graph here which you'll find on exercise equipment all over the world. And you can see there's a yellow section there which is marked effective fat burning, telling you that if you operate at 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, that's an effective way of burning fat, which is saying this is how to light up this light bulb. Yeah, but nah, your body actually prefers to burn glucose or blood carbohydrate or whatever you want to call it. So how are we going to fix that? Well, first off, we need to know a little bit about exercise intensities. Your maximum heart rate is how fast your heart can beat at absolute full tit, and it's generally accepted to be about 220 minus your age. So if I'm 41, that means it's 220 minus 41. My maximum predicted heart rate is 179 beats a minute. And I can work out different percentages of that intensity. 95% is 179 times 0.95, so 170 beats a minute. And I can do that for various different ranges of intensity. What we want to know is what fuel is supplying me at any given intensity. So for every 10 calories burned, how many from carbohydrates or blood sugar, and how much from fat? Well, when I'm operating at, say, 170 beats a minute, which is 95% of my maximum potential, I'm using energy so fast that the fat system can't keep up. So no fat is helping, it's all carbohydrates. If I'm operating at 85%, fat can help a little bit, but it's still operating too fast for fat to supply the energy completely. So I'm using mostly carbohydrates. By the time I get down to 65% intensity, which is kind of easy exercise really, you can see I'm only burning 4 carbohydrates for every 6 fat, which sounds great. Except that, no, your body most of the time prefers to burn carbohydrates and kind of hold on to the fat. So, how long does it take to burn 500 calories? Well, if you're exercising really, really hard, it doesn't take you very long. If you're exercising really easy, it's going to take you quite a while. Obvious, really. But this is important. Body fat is only broken down in mitochondria cells in the presence of oxygen. What we want our body to do is increase the size and number of mitochondria cells, because more mitochondria cells equals more fat burning cells. This is strategy number 1. And your body is only as fit as it needs to be. You have to give it a reason to get fitter. If it can do something already, it doesn't need to get fitter, so it won't. This is what we call a muscle adaptation curve. And this is how all exercise works, really. And in this case, we're going to be talking about cardio. So you can see I have a stimulus over there in red on the left-hand side of the screen. So that's something that's challenging my cardiovascular system. It could be a HIIT class, it could be interval training on the treadmill, it could be rounds of hard boxing, or just going absolutely nuts in the first half of a combat class or something. Then I'll recover from that, you can see that in blue, and my body will adapt to that stimulus by getting a little bit fitter. And I repeat that process over and over so my fitness gradually increases. So how hard do I need to train? Well, you need to train somewhere between hard and damned hard in order for your body to have a reason to go and get fitter and better at using the mitochondrial system, which is where fat can be used. While you're doing that intensity of exercise, you are using mostly the creatine phosphate and the glucose system, or blood carbohydrate. Having done that for 20 to 30 minutes, most of the blood sugar should be used up. So then what? Well, now you go and exercise at easy to moderate intensity. And that's ideal fat burning territory. So strategy number 2 is burn off most of the blood sugar, either with hard cardio or weight training, and then go and do easy to moderate cardio for a while after that. When the blood sugar is reduced, your body will be forced to use a higher percentage of carbohydrates. So instead of this, we end up with this. And that's great for fat burning. But hey, what if you really don't like cardio and you're just interested in being big and strong and still having low body fat? That's okay. Just go and do hard weight training for 40 to 50 minutes to burn off all the blood sugar. You won't burn it off as quickly as you would compared to doing hard cardio, so it'll take you to 40 to 50 minutes, but hey, that's when you're building your muscles. And at the end of that, go and do 20 to 30 minutes of easy to moderate cardio to burn off the fat. And that is how to turn on your fat burning light bulb. Thanks for listening. Bye.